Hi, I'm Colleen Bergeron. I'm an intuitive life coach, and I'm going to teach you today about stepping forward into my personal power. What one step could I take today to create the space for change? Use I am power. What do you consider your personal power? I know we all lead busy lives, sometimes realizing that we all have that one personal power item that can create the space for us to effectively take charge of our lives and create the space for dramatic change eludes us. I'm talking about that one moment in time that we knew we would not fail at achieving a goal. This is my moment. Celebrate me. We had no doubt that we would be the one specifically selected for a task of our choice and applauded every step of the way. The idea is to find this memory and wear it always. It's your personal power moment. Finding this moment in time is actually quite easy. Let me share a story. I was 18 and I had moved to an area that there weren't a lot of jobs, and the only experience I had did not include really making money in a secure income environment. I moved to be near family. I pounded the pavement every single day and wore out the soles on a pair of shoes applying for jobs everywhere. In my free time, I went door to door asking people if they needed help with any of their household chores. I would offer to clean, to mow and weed yards, to wash windows, and I watched children while their mothers attended classes at the local college. I did everything I could not to become another statistic. I had determination, and I had intent. I had been applying at a local bus company for nearly a year. I wanted this position because it allowed me freedom of movement and contact with many individuals where I could chat easily, listen to music, and enjoy the surrounding scenery on a beautiful afternoon driving door-to-door service in a community I knew well. The hours were perfect for me. I was young and I knew my youth was viewed as a setback. I was determined this would be my job. I went back and checked on this position so often they knew me by name. I would chat with others inside the business, and they started to recognize me when they were off work, and I would sit and have coffee with them in the morning. Seriously, I didn't have much cash, and I went out of my way to pick up returnable 10-cent bottles and exchange them at a local store in order to get that change on hand to make sure that I could sit with the others in the morning and get that 30-cent cup of coffee. Bonus was that it also cleaned the local environment along my morning walk path. One day, nearly a year later, interviews opened for 3 new positions inside this organization, and I was called for an interview because my morning coffee partners recommended me. I practiced answering the common interview questions about skills and being people person, but that wasn't really what got me this job. The interviews were all scheduled on one day and ran sequentially. All of the applicants were in one room together so we could face each other before our names were called. As soon as I sat down in a seat, they all turned to look at me. 20 faces, and most were men old enough to be my father, experienced drivers, sheriff posse officers and deputies, railroad engineers. This was serious competition to someone with no experience in the field I was applying for. The other applicants were older, more experienced, and in business suits and personal uniforms. It was a strong contrast to me. One of the men dressed in uniform spoke up and said, "What are you doing here? You know there are only 3 positions," and waved his hand around the room. I responded, "Yes, I'm here to interview for my new position." He responded, "What position? Don't you think they'll look at your age?" He laughed, causing a titter to follow around the room. When they stopped chuckling, I replied, "I'm counting on it." You see, today is my birthday. If you know anything about what it takes to get your resume to the top of a pile, it's something about it that triggers a happy memory when they look at your individual statistics. The appearance of my youth will lead a hiring manager to look directly and immediately at my date of birth, which I had placed at the top of my resume, deliberately next to my contact information, because today is my birthday, and I will respond that I am in fact celebrating my day. Most bosses have a calendar on their desk that says today's date is. Today that big calendar will correspond to my date of birth. Every time the hiring manager picks my resume up after that moment, he will remember me because of that familiarity. It will become more likely to be placed on the top of a pile for a follow-up interview. The key to getting your resume to the top of a pile is recognition that brings the eyes directly to your personal statistics and creates a feeling of familiarity and happiness. My specific age is actually a very strong advantage for me today. Today was my day, my power moment, my 19th birthday. My last response was this. When you go in, remember this. Out of the 3 positions that are open, one of them is mine. I have the first interview scheduled. Which of the other 2 positions will you be applying for? My statement was followed with a full round of applause as I walked in for my interview. Yes, one of the positions was in fact mine. This is my power moment, and I can bring that memory back into my heart space and stand in it. What is yours? As your personal intuitive life coach, I can help you find your personal power moment and stand in that personal power to create effective change daily. This can be reviewed in content at orograndeintuitivelife.com, or you can contact Colleen directly at orograndeintuitivelife@gmail.com. Be the difference.